Welcome to the project that took me way longer than it should have. So this is two characters from an anime and manga series I really like. Words. The video's already started off and I can't talk. But it's Kyoko and Ren from Skip Beat. The anime was good, the manga's better, simply because the manga continues on a lot further than the manga, or the anime. But the basic premise is Kyoko, who's the main character, gets her heart broken and swears revenge, but the guy she swears revenge on is a rising singer. And he tells her the only way you could ever possibly get revenge is to beat me to the top of the entertainment industry. So she joins the rival company to his and starts her journey as an actress and has to relearn how to love, essentially, as well as finding a love for acting. But it's a really good story, and it's not just, the happy girly, like, my brother loves it, and he doesn't normally like shoujo stuff. There's some pretty dark points in the thing, especially like we're only still just learning about Ren's past and the reason behind some of the things he does or says. But we're almost on chapter 300, so it's kind of there's a lot going on. But I wanted to it doesn't have nearly as much love as it should, in my personal opinion. So I wanted to do some fan art for it for a while, and I finally decided, I'm gonna do this. And the idea behind it was they're, on a set, they're both actors, so they're in costume, playing their roles. But Kyoko as a person, not as an actress, loves fairy tales. She's absolutely obsessed with them. She thinks fairies are real, that kind of a thing. Like, she believes she met a fairy boy when she was little, and it's fun. But the title I gave the picture was "You Are My Fairy Tale," but it's actually from Surika's point of view. Because while he does mentor Kyoko, she also in turn unknowingly helps him. And I'm not going to say too much more than that, just because spoilers, if any of you want to go and watch it or read it. Again, I would suggest reading it as well. The anime is good, but they leave out a lot, to the point where they really couldn't have continued the anime just because they left out so much, especially about Ren. And I'm saying his name, like his first name, because I know I will mispronunciate his family name, I don't even remember what the technical name for it is. It's like Suriga or something like that, but I don't think that's the right pronunciation, so I just say Ren because that's easier. But I had to completely redo Ren's outline, and then I was just like, Kyoko's hair was irritating me. But I did have to go back and fix the line art a bunch of times on this. In total, the amount of work, the amount of time I spent on this, I shouldn't say the amount of work, the amount of time, was over 18 hours. I think it was like 18 hours and 20 minutes or something. And it took me almost like 3 weeks to finish it, that those 18 hours are spread out over. Because I wasn't able to get myself to focus on the screen for more than an hour and a half. So it was like I was only working for an hour and a half a day. I think the longest I spent on it was the very last run of me working on the picture. I was like, I am going to finish this today, and it was not quite 4 hours that I worked on it. But yeah, it was trying to find a decent speed where you could still see what was happening, and finding points that were okay to kind of fade in and out and cut portions so that I was able to get it at least under 20 minutes and still show the majority of the work progress. Was fun, especially considering when I put more than 2 videos into my video editor, and seeing as how I only recorded 1.5-hour segments, I had about 10 videos to put in. It doesn't buffer, it doesn't load, so I was trying to find alter points, points that I could, okay, cut this section and have it fade into that section, kind of a thing, while not being able to actually see it. But I mean, I don't have the money to get a better video editor right now, and I probably won't, so it's probably just kind of gonna be how it is for quite some time. I made a comment in another video that while I was working on this picture, I sort of had a bit of an epiphany moment about myself and coloring. So one of the things that I realized while doing this picture, like with Kyoko with her dress and the gloves, was when I was younger, I had this bad habit of nothing could be the same color. Even if it was slightly different, it couldn't be the same color. Nothing could be the same blue, nothing could be the same purple. Everything had to be different. Every article of clothing. And I don't know why I did it. I don't know what put that thought in my head. But like thinking back on it, I'm like, why? It's like I don't do it in real life. So why would I do it in the pictures? Am I just, rebelling against myself or something? I don't know. So I wanted to kind of, I felt like mentioning it again because this is the picture where I came to that conclusion, not the one that I initially stated it on. Another idea behind how I did the picture is another little spoiler here. Close your ears if you don't want to hear. Is Kyoko ends up, the roles she normally ends up getting tend to be antagonist roles, and she wants to play, the heroine. She wants to be the princess. So I'm like, you know what? Why not? We'll make her the princess in the story. So I put her in a nice little princess dress. I wanted to try something else with this picture. I had sort of done it in a few of my Linktobers. I had initially meant to do it on a separate layer, so that I could, turn it on and off and see which one looked better, and I ended up doing it on the actual line art layer, so I just kind of like, screw it, and left it, but it does look really good. It helps make it look a little bit more solid. But I made the lines thicker, as you can see me doing. That's what I did. I made the lines thicker. But yeah, despite the annoyance of how long it took and the fact that I couldn't focus on it, despite how much I was in love with this picture and what I was doing with it, because I was excited for this picture. I was having a lot of fun with it, and it was irritating me that I couldn't focus on it, that I couldn't work on it for more than an hour at a time without my brain hurting. I need to get some of those stare at a computer glasses that my brother has, steal his or something. But I did have a lot of fun with this, and despite the whole annoyance of only working on it in increments, I'm really, really, really happy with my trees. My happy little trees that are dark and gloomy. But I didn't want to do like legitimate line art for the trees just because I felt like if I tried to do that, they wouldn't look quite as natural as I wanted them to. They wouldn't quite have the spooky feel if they were lined. So I just did this like really rough sort of base lining and then kind of went from there, as you can kind of see me following it here. And then when I go and do, you know, the detailing and the shading and stuff, that's when I shape it out and stuff. But with the trees, I wanted to, like everything else recently, to challenge myself. So, you know, I made one of them have a broken limb. You know, I made them cross over each other. I made the branches go in front, which is something I don't normally do because, especially with how I was, coloring, painting, whatever you want to call it. There's no legitimate line to say, okay, this is in front of that. I had to do it all by the different colors. And I personally feel I succeeded. You know, you might have a different opinion, but I personally feel I succeeded, and that's enough for me. But the lighting was another thing for me. Is I've mentioned it before in most of my videos. I've mentioned it. One of my goals is to continually challenge myself every piece, to always, you know, to try not to do the same thing. And one of the things I always tend to do is I always tend to have the same light source in the picture. So I decided with this one, Kyoko's going to be holding a fairy, which is giving off light. So that's the light source of the picture. It's literally in the middle of the picture and is radiating out. So I had to figure out how to do the lighting and make it look natural, but there's still, you know, lighting from around the area. So I also had to kind of figure that out. But again, considering everything and my lack of experience with source lighting, I feel I did fairly well. I had something else to say about the lighting. I'm not sure. It was there and now it's gone. But yeah, I feel I did a pretty decent job. I think I did the shading a little bit better on Ren than on Kyoko. But I don't... yeah. Just... I don't think I put shadowing in quite the right places to match like where her sleeves are and stuff. But for the most part, I really do like how her shading and stuff came out. My trees. Each tree took me about an hour to do. It's a pretty long, grueling task, which is just one more thing to kind of add to my list of one more things. I have the bad habit of going, oh, this is taking forever. You know, I'm just gonna finish it up and be done, and not kind of do this anymore. No, I have to, you know, stick it out. I have to make sure I put in the whole amount of work to make sure that it all has the same quality and it's all, you know, that none of it's kind of left out, I guess. That the same quality goes through the whole picture. You know, I kind of had it with the castle in the last video. You know, brick by brick by brick by brick. Oh, this is getting tedious and annoying. You know, despite the fact that I was having fun with it, it's like, you know, I kind of had moments where I was like, oh, I just kind of want to go blah, 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 and finish it. It's like, no, I have to I have to keep it consistent throughout the whole thing. It's like, you know, I'm not going to get better if I keep, you know, going, oh, this is taking too long, and just stopping. So, there's that. I'm very happy with my trees. They look like trees, for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there's probably other ways that I could have done them, or something I could do more on them to make them look more like trees, like adding in more texturing and stuff. But for what they are, and the experience I have with doing them like this, I think they turned out very well. I also tried to make sure that I didn't how do I want to say it? I didn't make them the same way. Like, I didn't, you know, the lines of the bark, I didn't want them all to be up and down. Like, on this one, I have it kind of twisting a bit. You know, that kind of a thing. It's on one of the other ones, I have it kind of going, ooh, and it's kind of like a wave. And so I was also, you know, trying to make each of the trees different. But, yes. I do one of the things I do need to do is start getting away from my common tools. 'Cause I tend to use the same 3 or 4 tools. I use the crayon, I use the airbrush, I use the pen, I use the pencil, and it's like I just use, you know, like I'll use the stamp brush for things like the hair and the grass and stuff. But it's like there's 10 other tools. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the one brush thing technically has like 40 something in it. And it's like I don't use them. And I need to just give myself some time to mess around and practice and get used to them so I can start doing even more with my pictures than I have been. Because, you know, if you limit yourself in tools, then you can only do what those tools allow you to do, right? So, need to stop limiting myself. I have started trying to use, you know, make sure I'm putting more texturing on and using the other things. Like I used the paint roller for something, been using the custom brush tool for a few things in one of the pictures I just finished. I had 4 days in a row off this past week. So I managed to completely finish a picture and then start a new picture that I'm about a third of the way through, I guess. Worked on it for 8 hours straight yesterday, so I was like, cool. Got all of the line work done, I got pretty much all of the coloring done. I'm gonna start on the shading. Technically today, for me, is Saturday, and this is just going to be posted Sunday, so I'll have started on the shading by the time this is up. And maybe I'll be halfway done. I'll at least be halfway done by the end of Sunday. That is my hope. I actually work Sunday. Ugh. I'll have to try and put this up before. Anyway, that was me rambling a bit. So, yeah, here's the final piece. And I'll put links to it in the description and stuff so you can actually go and look at the full picture as well. And I'll see you next week with another picture. Till then.